Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's shocking. It's shocking. But listen, everybody says Islam is a religion of peace. I heard George Bush say that, and I said, no, it's not. It's not a religion of peace. That isn't peace to kill somebody because they won't renounce Christianity. Well, the American Center for Law and Justice is helping in the defense of this pastor, and Jay Sekulow is here to tell us more. Jay, your heart is just goes out, and it's shocked that in the 21st century, somebody like Iran, they would cut off somebody's head or execute them because they won't renounce the faith in Jesus.
Here, the execution is by hanging.
Oh, it's hanging?
It's hanging in this particular case under Sharia law. He has been given 3 opportunities to recant his faith. And they say that, by the way, they use the phrase, Pat, opportunities, as if they're being merciful. If he recants his beliefs in Jesus Christ, then he gets mercy under Sharia law. And anybody that says Sharia law is compatible with universal human rights or the U.S. Constitution, obviously it's not. And this is a perfect example of this. The reality is right now that his last hearing on his recanting was today. He refused to recant. So technically that death sentence can now be done at any time. What we're seeing is pressure is finally now being put on. But I need to say this, Pat, to CBN News. We broke this story. We're the ones, when I say we, I'm talking about CBN News, put this out there. Jordan, my son, wrote a blog for the Washington Post. It was then, of course, Jordan was on CBN yesterday. It's now gotten national coverage. USA Today is starting to pick it. Well, it has picked it up. Other places are running with it. It's late in the game, but if U.S. pressure can be put on, the Secretary of State's office needs to be a lot more affirmative than they've been on this situation. Of course, the UN is saying nothing.
Well, it's horrible. I mean, and how can anybody say this is a religion of peace? Well, what did this man do? He was once a Muslim?
Well, it's not even clear that he was not raised as a Muslim.
Oh, he wasn't?
His family had Muslim heritage. Well, a lot of people in the Middle East have Muslim heritage.
Of course.
He has been a Christian. He's a pastor of an evangelical church, technically under the nonsense of Sharia law, and I'm saying it that way on purpose. Yeah. He did not even violate it. But that doesn't matter. They have no court system there. This is mock justice. And they're going to try to use him as an example. And the world community needs to be saying to Iran that they have to knock this off. If we're going to allow someone to be killed because of their faith, in this particular case hanged, because they're a Christian, and they're out there publicly about it, and the world's going to say nothing, that's an indictment against the rest of us. Fortunately, people are speaking out. We've been working with, he has a Muslim lawyer who is very dedicated to human rights, and has been now disbarred for 9 years. He's got now that's been suspended during this hearing. We've been working closely with him. We've been working closely with the church. But the reality is, we can't go in there and litigate it directly, but there's ACLJ lawyers, as you know, deployed in places we never talk about. We've got teams that are in the region, we'll say, and the fact of the matter is, we're not going to know about the execution of the sentence of death until it actually would happen or even afterwards. So, but we've got people that are monitoring it. World opinion needs to be clear here.
This is an evil rogue regime, but that is an Islamic republic. They are under the control of imams. This isn't, some, side branch. This is the heart of Shia law.
That's right. And this anybody in the United States that's saying Sharia law is compatible with the U.S. Constitution, or Sharia, as one politician said, oh, there's no problem with Sharia law in the United States. Really? I litigate cases. I'll give you example after example where courts have imposed Sharia law or utilized it. They may get overturned eventually, which is our job to get them overturned, but they have utilized Sharia law. And in saying Sharia law is compatible with the U.S. Constitution, this is Sharia law. What's happening to that man in Iran, actually, it's a perversion of Sharia law, if you could call it that. But the reality is, this guy is facing, this Pastor Youssef is facing a death sentence, literal death sentence.
Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey, I saw last night him saying, oh, what was it, garbage, these that talk about Sharia law. It's just, it's
Governor Christie's wrong. With due respect to the governor, he's wrong on this. Sharia law is a real situation in the United States. You have leading imams that are considered moderate saying Sharia law is compliant with the U.S. Constitution. And the reason they'll say that is because they know the Constitution of the United States can be amended through a process. So that's what they mean by Sharia compliance and the U.S. Constitution
so
not.
Oh,
sure, you amend it. You amend it. Comply with Sharia law. So that's why they'll say that. Andy McCarthy's written a great book on this. He was the prosecutor in the 1993 attacks on the World Trade Center. So the reality is, Pat, I mean, this is a serious thing. We're seeing it played out right now, and it's horrifying.
It just grabs your heart to think of something as awful as this going on. This faithful man, servant of Jesus, has been told to recount. But that's what happened in the Roman Empire. You either renounce Christianity and acknowledge the emperor, or we're going to kill you. Well, that's
exactly what's happening. What we need to urge people to do today. I mean, this is today. pray. I mean, pray without ceasing for this family, because we don't know exactly how they're going to impose this sentence, so we're monitoring, number one. Number two, there is nothing wrong with calling your congressman and senator to get some action here. The State Department, but we're going to be talking about this on our broadcast today. We've sent out emails through the ACLJ, and pray. I think prayer right now is our most important tool. There is no appeal process here. There is no real court system. This lawyer has done an incredible job trying under very difficult circumstance, but Pat, we need to pray, and thank CBN News for breaking this.
This will do more to hinder the cause of Islam around the world than anything they possibly could have done.
Absolutely. And you know what we're saying? People are saying that this is the real face of Islam. This idea, if this is, you know, here you've got a situation where it's not even a violation of Sharia law, yet they're doing this, and no one's saying you can't. That's the reality of what we're dealing with. It's a sad situation. Pray for Pastor Yusuf and his young family.
Amen. All right.